This morning a counter-terrorism exercise was conducted at the Adelaide Oval. This forms one of a suite of activities that police, other emergency services and other private sector partners engage in each and every year to better prepare our state in the unlikely event that such an incident was to occur. The strength of these activities is the partnerships that it builds, and this was a great example of working in partnership with the Adelaide Oval Stadium Management Authority to better prepare both the emergency services and the authority to counter an event such as this. It's important that the community understands that as unlikely as an event as this is to occur, it is very important that emergency services are constantly exercising to mitigate that risk and prevent the likelihood of such an event occurring.
One of the, main goals out of today, was it to work with the Adelaide Oval, or was it your response times and other things like that?
The Adelaide Oval Stadium Management Authority have been very proactive in initiating an exercise of this type. The Adelaide Oval is an iconic location, and we know that there is a threat that has occurred in other countries of the world to places of mass gathering. So this was a great opportunity for us to practice our response in a location that may be considered to be a target if something like this was to occur.
Could you maybe run through, how the scenario played out? Obviously we had the van there involved, we saw police officers move through. Could you maybe run through, the exercise itself?
So the exercise was designed around those type of events that are being experienced in Western countries in other parts of the world. So this was similar to those type of events. So it was a lone actor in a vehicle that caused damage to a gathering of the public, and then using a firearm attacked that crowd as well. And that is typical of the type of activities we're experiencing. And the great challenge for police is that it will be our frontline resources that will resolve those type of events. But even though it may be the police that actually take that initial action to resolve the incident, the aftermath of such an event will only be resolved, and we will restore that sense of public safety through those partnerships with other emergency services and people such as the Stadium Management Authority.
What have you learned from today in terms of the response, and what areas do you think needs to be improved on?
Well, just reinforcing again, what became very clear is that those partnerships are very, very strong. You want me to keep going?
Yep.
Reinforce that those partnerships are very, very strong, and we know from previous experience, not with terrorist events but with general policing and general emergency activity, that when you're in the middle of an event of this type, that is not the time to try and build relationships. So these exercises are critical for that.
Why is it so important to do this at Adelaide Oval? I think you've touched on it already.
Again, Adelaide Oval is an iconic location, and it is a place where the largest crowds gather within Adelaide. So the experience has told us that if a person was considering this type of an incident, they're going to choose a location that will have the greatest public impact. So Adelaide Oval is a good place for us to practice our skills.
So are police on alert for this type of threat at every football game then?
We have a series of arrangements in place to provide a safe environment for the public. We are satisfied that those arrangements will cater as best as we can for these type of events. It's a very unpredictable environment, but we are satisfied that our current arrangements and those partnerships arrangements are as strong as they need to be to mitigate, to both prevent an event of this type occurring and then to mitigate the consequences.
Are you going to practice this at other events around or other places around Adelaide? Clipsal, showgrounds, that sort of thing?
Yes, historically we have conducted exercises of this nature at other locations. Within the last 2 years a similar event was conducted at Football Park. We have conducted an event of this type at the athletics field and the netball stadium. So police and other emergency services practice this type of activity in a range of locations.